On today's episode, should Rafael Ortega continue to get as much playing time as he does? We recap the Cubs National Series, then we preview the Field of Dreams game. That's all on this episode of Locked On Cubs.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. We're two diehard Cubs fans, and we're pleased to be with you for a Thursday episode. It's been a good week so far, a lot of good shows. The Cubs win 2 out of 3 over the Nationals, Sam. But I know a certain player has been on the top of our minds recently, and it's impacting more things than we realize.
I'm upset. Now, let me tell you, I want to start to show a lot of positives to take away. We're going to get to that. Some good hitting, good pitching, Horner,
It's a fun game today.
Yeah, actually, I thought all 3 games were pretty fun.
All 3 were good, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the second one, they just came up short on a cheap basket home run.
And I was there for it.
Yeah. But I think just our job here is to address important issues. And Matt, there's been certain things that have happened this season that bother me because they don't make any sense and they're contradictory. So
right.
What I mean by that is Jed Hoyer, and you even said this astutely on our show, might have been off air, I can't remember. You said Jed Hoyer's been a little bit more transparent. Mm-hmm. He's been a little bit more obvious in what he's trying to do with these young guys, signing a guy, claiming a guy like Reyes off waivers, finally moving on from Hayward. It feels like, okay, we're headed in this direction where we're trying to get and learn about these young guys, except for one thing that I've been saying almost for about 2 straight months to you off the air. But Rafael Ortega batting leadoff and playing center field every day versus right-handers is reprehensible, okay? And I'm not overreacting because I know it doesn't matter in the short term. But it's the whole idea, Matt. Right. It's the whole idea of what we're trying to do. Because Rafael Ortega, first of all, since the All-Star breaks hitting 202, throughout the whole year, he's had 1 hot streak. He only faces righties. He doesn't face lefties. So from throughout the whole year, he hasn't hit the ball well. His OPS is under 650. He's not a good defensive center fielder, and according to the metrics, he's one of the worst base runners in baseball. Okay, so that's the 3 faces of the game. So from an X's and O's win now standpoint, it makes no sense. I do not care about that. That does not matter to me. What frustrates me, what makes me sleep with one eye open at night as I'm watching him let a ball go past him in center field today and continue to struggle offensively, is that he's taken away at bats from Nelson Velazquez, who I don't know a lot about. Is Nelson Velazquez going to be a star player? The odds are no. Is there about a small percentage chance? Yes. Is there a decent percentage chance that he's going to be a contributor on the next very good Cubs team? The answer is yes. And we are wasting at bats, wasting opportunities versus right-handed hitters to get Rafael Ortega his 4 to 5 ABs a game versus righties. He's 31 years old, Rafael Ortega. I would even say he's the least likely member on this current roster to be a prominent part of next year's team. It makes 0 sense whatsoever. I can't defend it. I could defend playing Gomes because you need him to catch guys like Justin Steele and Keegan Thompson because he works well with them, so he needs to take some ABs. I could defend that. I cannot defend playing Rafael Ortega and leading him off every single day. It's nothing against him personally. It makes no sense. Okay, Morel had a scheduled day off today. How has Nelson Velazquez not gotten a start since his 3-hit homer day on Monday? How? I don't understand. Help me. Relax me.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. And I don't think Ortega is a punching bag because I could see that being a defense. Like, oh, you guys are fans of a bad team. You're doing a daily show, and let's get somebody out there. Let's get somebody out there so we could rattle. No, the biggest problem for me, if I could just add on to the conversation there, I thought you did a great job, is the batting position. Because it would be one thing if he was in the mix and he was starting against some righties. But he's taking all the possible plate appearances because he literally bats first.
Right.
So just the math doesn't add up because he hits the most out of anybody.
Right.
The other part that I feel strongly about is not only do we know who Ortega is as a player, like we know him, we know Contreras, we know Happ, we know maybe a couple other guys, we know what Gomes could do.
Can't do, yeah.
But Ortega is not only is he not going to start in 2023.
He might not be on the team.
Okay, I'm starting to sketch up my roster, folks, for next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no room for him.
And he's not even on the roster.
No, 0.
He's not even in the 26 people.
And this isn't a knock on him. Like, I'm not advocating for him to get DFA'd. I'm just saying play him once or twice a week.
I might be.
Yeah, you use him as a pinch hitter. Just stop having him play every day. You got like to me, this should be the batting order of the let's just say first 5-6 guys. First 5-6 guys. Okay. I've said this to you off the air.
Do you think it should be static? Like, should the same almost every day?
I mean, no, because he's got to do a lot of, he's got a lot of mouths to feed. But I'm talking about the core guys I want to see in there every day in this order.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see. I've always said I think Wilson Contreras would be a really good leadoff hitter for the Cubs.
You have said that.
He doesn't hit well with runners in scoring position, but he gets on base at a crazy rate, hits great with nobody on. I want to see him at the leadoff position. Don't care if it's righty or lefty. Okay.
Wait, let me get my pen. Hold on. All right, go ahead.
I want to see Suzuki in the 2-hole. Think that's a great spot for him. Get him as many ABs as he can. I don't really want to see Happ in the 3-hole, but you got to appease Happ. He's a veteran. Fine, put him in the 3-hole.
All right, Happ in the 3-hole.
I want to see Nico, Derek Jeter, Horner in the 4-hole because I love the way he hits with runners in scoring position. Okay, and then some some sort of. I don't want Morel hitting 9th. I don't need that anymore. And enough of this. Oh, that's where he's comfortable. I want to watch these guys hit when it matters. I want Reyes, Morel, and Velazquez somewhere in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish hole. Okay, I don't stop hiding these guys. If they have mistakes, if Velazquez has, let me tell you something. It's more valuable for Nelson Velazquez to go over 25 with 25 strikeouts than watch Rafael Ortega hit 25 times for this organization. It's more valuable. It just is. That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay, please, our fans. Our fans that we are and the people that watch us and people watch the Cubs have suffered enough through this 2-year stretch. Throughout the last month and a half, let us watch guys that we could be excited about. I'm enjoying watching Nick Madrigal right now. He's starting to look like the Nick Madrigal of the White Sox, okay? I am enjoying watching Nelson Velazquez work ABs. Is he a perfect hitter? Of course not. But I enjoy breaking down those at-bats. When I'm sitting on my couch and I'm eating some sort of popcorn or candy or Reese's or Coke or Pepsi, whatever it is.
And you wonder why you don't like going to the dentist. Continue.
And not Pepsi, by the way. I don't drink Pepsi.
Correct.
And I'm sitting there and Velazquez comes up, I lock in. Morel comes up, I lock in. Horner's up. I want to watch how do they handle second and third 1 out? Are they going to go the other way? When Ortega's up, it's my bathroom break. It's great. He got a bloop single. I hope he finds a home next year on a different club.
With the Royals could be good for him.
It's just, please. It's same and DFAing Schwindel, or excuse me, putting Schwindel in the minor leagues and having him take ABs now away from Mervis and those guys. Make it just please. I know you guys are smarter than me, Jed and Hawkins. I know you're smarter than me. I'm not that smart of a guy. I know that. But this stuff I can't grip my head around. Okay? Please. If you want to play Ortega twice a week, hit him 9th, fine.
No.
Why I want to watch PJ Higgins hit more. I like watching him hit.
I have for a year now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? My earphones. Anyway, I want to watch those guys hit. Please, I want to have something to look forward to 2023. It makes no sense. And then just one quick thing, Matt. Just one. Let me just wrap up really fast. Sorry, I'm sorry. The Cubs haven't had a good defensive center fielder since Dexter Fowler. And
Right.
we know Rafael Ortega is at one. Let Morel and Velazquez take those, since winning and losing doesn't really matter, and see if they could turn into
See what they
something.
could do.
There's so much opportunity. And I know people are going to say, well, Schwindel had a big August and September last year. Look what happened. It doesn't really matter. Schwindel's older. These guys are prospects. Nelson Velazquez is a top 15, 16 prospect in the organization. I want to see what he could do. I want to see as much Morel as I can. I know you got to give him days off every now and then. That's fine. And that's where you could use Ortega. But every day batting leadoff is just malpractice.
You're listening to Locked On Cubs. We could be found wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. We eclipsed 1,000 subscribers the other day. We're very thankful for that. Sam, I would actually want them to eliminate Ortega's spot from the roster because it clears up a lot. And I understand what you're saying about starting once or twice a week, and maybe he does match up well against a righty, but if you clear him, okay, just like they do with Schwindel, although not really, because he's in Des Moines now, where the S's are silent. But if you DFA Ortega, then there's just more options. Not only could you bring up Jackson Frazier or Crook or Hill or whoever, but then you could play around with some of these rotations. Okay, so Morel plays third, Wisdom's at first. Okay, Velazquez in center. Okay, Morel or McKinstry's at third, Morel's in center, Velazquez is at left, Happ is the DH. There's so much that you could do. And in our Cubs Nationals recap, we'll do a little more with Madrigal, but there's other guys too, Sam, that should be playing, if not every day, just more. And I think one of them is Madrigal. I know that you got McKinstry for Chris Martin. You want to see, again, what he does in this 50-plus games. But since when was he not an everyday player? Aren't they competing for spots, not only for this year, but 23? He can't play every other day.
Yeah,
he's got to play every day.
I think they're being a little cautious with him with all his lower extremity issues. But I don't know. Listen, your guess is as good as mine. Let's move on.
Okay. You don't want to discuss the Ortega thing anymore.
No, it's just, you know me very well. I'd say probably you know me. You're one of the top 12 people that know me.
Interesting number choice.
And things that don't make sense to me or that aren't logical, I have a very hard time getting over.
Well, and part of that is this, just to recap here, Ortega 200 in the second half, Velazquez 310.
And that's not even my point.
Right.
That just backs it up.
Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. Either the wedding jewelry or everyday fine jewelry. Blue Nile has an anniversary sale going on now. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces and 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece of bling. Go to BlueNile.com today.
Can I just say before we talk about the Cubbies and Nats, at first, some people were critical of you shaving the mustache. You look like a Kennedy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
You look like a Kennedy.
I was re-listening to an episode of our old show the other day. You mentioned something about the Kennedys.
I have a lot of historical references. I go Kennedy.
It goes back about 2 years.
No, I go Reagan. I go Clinton. FDR will come in. You know what I mean? I respect the history of this country. Go ahead.
Speaking of this country, the team from the nation's capital was at Wrigley the last 3 games.
Oh, man, that's good.
Okay, this is Locked On Cubs. Subscribe on YouTube. And the Cubs won 2 out of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
4 out of 6.
They received good pitching performances from Keegan Thompson, from Marcus Stroman, and Justin Steele.
You thought Stroman pitched well?
Actually, he was okay.
Well, now listen.
He was okay.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. When Keibert Ruiz has got 4 homers on the year, takes you deep twice, it's like giving a home run up to. It's like giving 2 home runs up to Willie Stargell. Go ahead.
Good reference. Good reference. So, yeah, I mean, Thompson and Steele, I'm really excited about. I was at the game last night.
Man,
Great
Steele.
atmosphere, great energy. It goes without saying, really, that when this team is good again, it's going to be that much better.
What a
just
great
like
crowd
always
it felt
has.
like. How was the crowd last night? It looked good.
Fantastic. There
Yeah,
wasn't
it
a
felt like
seat. So we were 300 level, that first section in the upper deck, first row.
Sure.
Great spot.
Great
Not
spot.
a seat to be had in the bleachers.
And did you eat anything?
I ate outside the ballpark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say something, Matt? I think I'm not there yet, but I think I'm going to hop onto your side. We had a little argument a couple of weeks ago on the show, and argument's an extremely strong term, where you said you like Steele better than Thompson, and I kind of corrected you, and my reasoning was because of the swing and miss stuff. And since I said that, Justin Steele
He only has 19 strikeouts.
looks like Sandy Koufax. Okay, so
do you think he's a starter now at least?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Matt's right. I was probably it's really hot in my place. I was the last guy to hop on the Steele bandwagon. I thought you can laugh. It's a joke. I thought Steele.
Go ahead.
I thought Steele was kind of just was a reliever type of situation.
Right.
He really is showcasing some stuff. And as somebody that analyzes the game, I have a really hard time figuring out what it is because he's not throwing hard.
Right.
He doesn't have tons of movement. It must just be a deceptive thing. Because man, and of course it helps when you face the Marlins and Nationals. I mean, you might as well go, face the Smokies, Tennessee. But he really is hard to. It feels like guys don't square him up.
No, they're not squaring him up a lot at all right now, and the swing and miss is obviously increased. I do think it's a combination of his pace, his pitch mix, a little bit of deception, definitely dashed in there. We like how he competes. We've talked about that before. Yeah, I mean, the opponent is one thing, but just to be a major league pitcher and do well consistently, I don't really necessarily care as much about the opponent, especially in a season like this.
He's had a good
all
year.
Good things. Yeah,
he's had he's one of the few guys on this team. I think Nico Horner would be the other one. I think Contreras would be the other one. Not Hap for me. Where if you said, "Give me this exact production next year, take it or leave it," I'm taking it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't take it with Hap.
That's a great question.
9 homers just isn't enough. It just isn't.
It's paltry.
And I would probably take this for Morel, this rate,
Sure.
Over 162, this rate I'd probably take. But if you give me a 3.5 ERA with Steele, fine. I think he can get better, but this version of him is fine. One thing I want to talk about in this series really quickly, Matthew. I don't know why I always say really quickly. I'm not in a rush.
I'm not sure.
In a rush. I'm not in a rush. Why do I have to say really quickly?
No rush.
And this is going to hit close to home for you because you're a coach. I really am interested to see how the Cubs handle Franmil Reyes. On this show, we talk often about pitching and taking guys and turning them into better pitchers. We haven't really talked about it with hitters. There is a clear skill set with Reyes, okay? He's a massive human being with probably as much natural power as anybody in the league that for whatever reason hits the ball on the ground way too much, right? We've even seen it. Like he's hit like 3 or 4 100+ mile an hour grounders already. Is there any way that our hitting program and our coaches can figure out a way to get Reyes to hit the ball in the air a little bit more? Because and again, we're talking about 2 games here, but I just don't see a guy that should have been DFA'd. I don't see a guy that is that far away from the guy that hit 250 with 34 home runs. I just don't. It's a swing and miss and a ground ball rate issue. And I mean, he's every time he comes up there, he hits the ball pretty hard. He just hits it on the ground a lot. He's a unique hitter, right? Because you look at his frame, 265, 265, you think, okay, homer strikeouts, but he actually hits the ball on the ground more than you would think. And I think that's his big problem. But I think it's a really good opportunity for the Cubs to buy low on somebody and turn him into an asset. And I'm going to be watching that very, very closely here as we wind down the campaign.
I'm excited that the Cubs got Franmil, and I was happy to be there for his debut last night. He looks good in the Cubs pinstripes. He's 3 for 8 in 2 games. And
he does look good, literally. I like the way he looks in the uniform.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the first thing from my baseball side of the glass would just be, how does he compete in the zone, number one? And when he makes contact in the strike zone, where is that in the zone? Because if without any information in front of me, my guess would be is that a lot of that the contact is going to be in the lower third of the zone, and therefore the ball's hit into the ground.
Right.
And that's all approach. That has zero to do with mechanics. It's just where's your wheelhouse? Okay, it's not there. You're early in the count. You don't go. If it's there, you go. And he was really exciting last night. It was a really bizarre seventh inning, 2 days in a row.
That was a good. That was a fun ball game.
It was really fun, and I hope he could be a part of this for the last 50 plus.
Nico Horner can really hit when it matters, can he?
Yeah.
My.
Yeah.
Goodness.
If you're looking, and Sam just did this. If you're looking for Cubs spirit wear, Cubs apparel.
Oh, I didn't wear.
If you're looking for a jersey, it's got to be Horner. I mean, I saw a lot of Suzuki stuff last night, but folks, think about buying Nico Horner stuff. Okay.
Right. And not an Ullman. Would you buy an Ullman jersey?
No.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recognize him if I saw him outside of my place.
Rowan Wick.
Oh,
let's
touch on him.
Really turned his season around.
Boog's calling him Roe.
And
are we not in on something?
You and I are on we have a private contract off the air. We will not mention Boog's name for 3-4 episodes. Okay. That's a joke, folks. Rowan Wick, first of all, he's hit 97. Where do these guys just randomly get these velocity spikes? I mean,
where did the new breaking ball come from?
Yeah. His curveball looks way sharper. I don't know. I mean, what did this guy go to a pitching lab? He looks like a totally different guy.
He was out of the country over the All-Star break.
Yeah, he looks like a totally different guy, and it just shows you, backs up why they traded Efros. I mean, look at Josh Hader, guy's completely broken. These relievers are so unpredictable. I mean, it is just. I have so much respect for the Kimbrels, the Jansons, the Chapmans that for most of their careers, for like an 8-9 year stretch, Rivera, of course, that were so good for so long, because man, it is just a really odd occupation to be an MLB reliever. I mean, I give up trying to predict this stuff. I mean, look at Kimbrel last year, guy to 0.64. He goes down south and he can't get anybody out.
The major league closer, major league reliever it's almost comparable to almost like the NFL running back.
Or kicker.
Yeah.
I was going to say a kicker.
Just bring him in. Let's see.
Go Bear. Oh, jeez.
Wick, by the way, 1 1/3.
This team's got problems, huh?
Oh, okay. We'll leave that to the Locked On Bears host. Who's Justin Fields going to throw to? Give us a call, 312-834-4634. But Wick, 6 2/3 scoreless in the second half.
And the eye test backs it up, man. I mean, he's throwing hard. Yeah. Curveball has bite to it. And by the way, just one thing, Mark Leiter Jr., I thought, did not deserve to give up that 2-run homer. That was cheap. He was throwing the ball fine. Let's move on.
My only Cubs-Reds memory growing up is when Kyle Farnsworth pummeled Paul Wilson. But for some reason, the Cubs and Reds are playing the Field of Dreams game, and we'll preview that coming up next. First, most of us have overworked livers. And we have a brand new product here on Locked On Cubs and all the Locked On Network shows called Liver Health Formula. As a listener to our show, you can try Liver Health Formula risk-free today and get a free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Curb Fit is a safe and all-natural appetite suppressant, making it easy to say no to naughty foods. This makes it the perfect complement to Liver Health Formula. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. Again, that's getliverhelp.com/MLB to try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB now to get started.
Matt, since I'm a little bit more excited about the Field of Dreams game than you, I'll handle this. I want to hear your reaction to it off the top of your head. I did a little TV spot with the Iowa station on Monday, and I want to bring this to this show. In honor of the Field of Dreams game, I made myself an all-time Cubs-Reds lineup.
Great.
That doesn't excite you at all?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. So I made a lineup of what I think the best Cubs all time, best Reds, put it all together. So
so mashed as one team?
Mashed as one team. Yeah. Because like previewing this game, right, it's the Cubs versus the Reds. It's going to be a cool atmosphere. Otherwise, everybody knows about the Cubs and the Reds.
And we'll talk about it on Friday's show.
Yeah. But so I just thought this was, you know me, I love my history.
No, I do want to hear this.
Okay. So and by the way, by you not knowing my team tells me you didn't watch my TV spot, and I'm not hurt by that. So at catcher, I chose Johnny Bench, probably the easiest choice, right, for Cincinnati. At DH, I gave him a DH.
Pete Rose. I know. I watched the TV spot.
Oh yeah. So it's gonna be Pete Rose. Now, first base, I had a little problem, right? I went with Joey Votto. I was debating about moving Ernie Banks over from short to first to allow Barry Larkin to play short, but I didn't do that. So I went with Votto at first. Second base was a tough call between Joe Morgan and Ryan
and Nick
Sandberg.
Madrigal. I get it.
No, come on. This is good stuff. And then I went with Joe Morgan over Ryan Sandberg. Just a better career, I thought. When you look at the numbers, shortstop, Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Now for all the 16 Cub fans yelling at me, I did put Chris Bryant at third base. Ron Santo, Hall of Fame. The Reds have a Hall of Famer at third, Tony Perez. But I just figured somebody has to be on the team from the 16 Cubs that got it all done. Chris Bryant won the MVP that year. It's going to be him. Then my outfield, I went Sosa, Frank Robinson, and Billy Williams. I don't know who's playing where. We're going to hit. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And then at pitcher, I decided to go with Ferguson Jenkins because Tom Seaver had his best moments as a New York Met. And then bullpen-wise, we're going with the Nasty Boys from the Reds. They're the big red machine. And then we're getting the ball to the only guy on this list that contributed to both clubs, Aroldis Chapman, Cubs and Reds. Now, that's a good ball club. Now, that's a team I'd want to see walk through the cornfield.
I love it.
Comment below. I know a lot of people probably, I forgot some stuff. And look, I know, the guys like Hack Wilson. I didn't go back that far. I'm not that smart. Okay. I went with just the obvious stuff. I feel like the big honorable mention that I missed, Barry Larkin's got to be in there, but he's not.
There's some snubs.
Yeah, there's some snubs. Seaver's an honorable mention. Sandberg's an honorable mention. There's a lot of guys, but I think that was a good list.
I do. And I think that's a good place to wrap up for today. We'll recap all things Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa on Friday's episode. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts on the audio side, and drop us a text, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On MLB podcast. Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Even though 3 Locked On hosts have mispronounced my name, I am Matt Cozy, and this is Locked On Cubs.